Dan Fernandez, osteopath. So today we're going to talk about different types of shoes that I use. So basically I want to talk to you about 5-finger shoes and trail running and roads and all of that. So I have been running with 5-finger shoes for 7 years now. I used to use the Brooks Adrenaline high support, all cushioning insoles. I used to work at sweatshops, so I used to, like I do today, I do what I preach. Until I became an osteopath and started to really understand the mechanics of the foot and what is more beneficial when your foot strikes, and should your heel strike, midfoot, or go on the top of your toes. So what I can tell you is just my own experience. My own experience is that if you heel strike, the whole impact is going to go through your ankle, through your knee, up to your hip, up to your lower back. Because if you're heel striking, the first impact is your heel, and you're doing it with your locked joints, and that will affect every other joint above. Okay, that's where I think people have this crazy idea that you shouldn't be running long distances, which I don't agree with. So then you have the midfoot strikers, which is what I try to do as much as I can, which is land like that, where your heel and the mid part of your foot land exactly at the same time. So I've got the books, makes it a bit easier. So right there. So then you try to do it like that. So when you land, the foot lands, what it does, it expands and then pushes forwards and you toe off. The reason behind it is that we've got some ligaments underneath the foot that in combination work with your Achilles. What they do is they store the kinetic energy that we have when we're running, and then that kinetic energy when we toe off explodes. Not as real explode, you know what I mean, is that takes that energy forward so you can then move forwards. So when the foot lands on the floor, basically what's happening, your both toes, your bones, your calcaneus, which is my thumb in the middle foot of the foot, expands. So that energy is like an elastic band, and then toes doesn't go back, but that energy allows you to have a spring with your Achilles. Okay, so that's just a short version for you to know how I do it. And then other people who think that it's also best to land on your tippity toes. I don't think that your toes are meant to sustain the whole weight of your body. That's number one. I mean, in case you don't know, when we're running, when we land with our foot onto the floor, if you weigh 50 kilos, that weight is multiplied by 3. So that'll be 150 kilos that you have on one single stride. So you want it to have it more efficiently in energy saving as much as possible. So if you're doing a heel strike, which is impact, or if you go on your toes, which don't really have enough support or muscle compression or ways of absorbing that energy, as for me, the midfoot strikers do, I wouldn't do either. So I think best way to do it is midfoot strike and go forwards. Okay? I do, if you haven't seen my video about how to run, you can have a check at that. So we got a bit of trainers, like we've got one here. So this is a trail shoe. This is what I used to use in the past. I don't use this anymore. It has lots of cushion in the back and a little bit in the front, which allows your body to lean forwards. It's a trail shoe. It's a Merrell, very good brand, but I do not use this anymore. Very, very, very rarely. And the simple way is because it cuts off the expansion from my foot and brings things very narrow. So when I did my last couple of ultras, I've used Topo, T-O-P-O. You can see the difference between the width of that shoe and the width of that shoe. Yeah, so basically this one here is going to mimic more the shape of your foot. When your foot lands, it will give you more space for your toes, expand, and take you forwards. Zero drop, no it's not. It could be, but I think it's a 1.5 of a difference between the back and the front. This is as close as I could get to it. There is There are some trainers called Ultra with an A in the beginning. Those are very good as well. Those are zero drop, and I've ran them with before, but unfortunately they miss in a couple of things of the shoes that I think they were essential for the grip and the hold of the ankle. So I've binned those already, simply because I also had 2 black nails from them. I had the right size shoes, everything, but it was because of the I wasn't able to do the lock because it didn't have the extra hole, and the grip in the bottom wasn't as good as this one. So I've used this one on the Snowdonia 60K, and I love these. Really good grip. I had no issues going through those runs and trails, and they're very comfortable, very comfortable. So I use that on trails that are very that require a lot of grip in terms of the rocks, or just very slippery as well. I use those. If I know I'm going to go for a normal trail where I don't have big rocks to worry about, I'll just take my normal 5-finger shoes. So you can see that the shape of the foot is very similar, okay? So some people don't like it, but I've running on trails, I use these ones, and these are the V trails from Vibram, or I'll take the V run. You can see, look, these are all wasted already, and this is my kickoff. So if you compare and see the heel strike from that, there's not much to go there, and it all comes through the middle and the toe off. Because what I try to do when I run is like the same thing that you would do on a skateboard. So you would land and then push off, yeah, and that will propel you forwards. So these are zero drop, obviously, and they've got no cushioning, no support, nothing. I use my own body to support me. Okay, they get me stronger. I'm injury free. Can't remember last time I had an injury. That could be just luck. I do my foam rolling, my stretching, my cold showers afterwards. But yeah, different types of shoes. My recommendation for you is one very simple. Okay, if you're happy with what you have, continue using what you have, and you don't need to be using my shoes. This is just me. I like to feel more freedom, be lighter, be more aware of where I'm putting my feet, feeling the sensation that's going on in my feet, so I can react better to the ground. That's what I do it for. It's just because of that, okay? We all have different tastes. It is as it is. I mean, I've done Sky Ultra Run 2 years ago. That's 55K Ultra Run with these. They're still in knit condition, and they're still good shoes. They're just a bit too rocky. The event was too rocky to wear them, so I just got a bit slower because of the shoes. But so I wouldn't advise you to go do any sky runs with these, because that was just crazy. But yeah, any other questions you guys need about shoes, advice, you just let me know. See you soon.